Now, if you have not heard, there's a protest ongoing in Nepal that has made the Prime Minister of Nepal to, and in fact, he had to be taken away by helicopter. And all the politicians, some of them had to be taken away by helicopter. The ones that could not escape were beaten and they had their houses set on fire.
Hundreds of thousands of protesters in Nepal, some of whom were killed in the process, were setting fire all over the capital, major government buildings being broken into a flame. The prime minister quit, fled the country. All of this seemed as if it began with a simple protest by young people, what they're calling the Gen Z or Gen Z protest, about the government's decision to shut off 26 social media platforms. What we learned is that was really only the very beginning of it. On the first day of the protest, security forces opened fire and at least 19 young people died. After that, the protesters were angry in an entirely new way. But before they took to the streets, there were already deep grievances besides the social media ban. Nepal is in the grips of a terrible crisis of unemployment that makes it very hard for a lot of young people, especially, to find any work, to pay for any of the needs that their families have. And the place where most people seem to lay blame for that is on the corruption of Nepal's elites. All of their houses were burned. Many of them were attacked. The fact that so many people, so many known entities in Nepali society have been hunted down is shocking. And then eventually, when the Nepal army came out in force to declare that it was responsible for law and order, we were able to see heavily armed police and soldiers carefully encircling blocks of protesters. So as the army tries to assert its control against this unexpected eruption of
power is not served in a la carte. It's a basic principle of life. Take it or leave it. It's not preaching for violence, it's understanding the basic principle of life. Power is not served in a la carte. It's a basic principle of power. In actual sense in life, nothing is given, it is taken. Power is not given, it is taken. Believe it or leave it. The protest in Nepal is an example of it. The protest in Nepal is a proof that power is not served in a la carte. It is not given. This is not preaching for violence. He is saying the basic truth about life. As a result of that protest, Nigerian politicians are running scattered. The question you may want to ask is, why are they running scattered? The answer is very, very simple. The root or the cause of the protest in Nepal have a common denominator with what is happening in Nigeria. What happened in Nepal was caused by the corruption of the politicians. Of the story of what happened in Nepal. The politicians, they are so corrupt. They are feeding facts, just like Nigerian politicians are feeding facts. You have their children showing off with their houses, showing off with what they have acquired with the collective wealth of the nation. And the people were silently angry. They could not talk. So they are now planning a protest. So when the government heard this, they said they will ban the social media, and they banned over 27 social media. So the people went to the streets. Since you think you can silence us, they went to this. This is a video of the guy that a Gen Z boy, they are under the age of 20. He declared a protest, and today the Prime Minister has resigned. All the politicians, is either they have fled or they have been beaten and their house is set on fire. Now here is the common denominator. The root cause of the protest was corruption. You now see the reason why Nigerian politicians are afraid. Nigerian politicians are extremely corrupt. Or there is no way you can say it other than to say it the way it is. They are extremely corrupt. We have a president that fraudulently came to office. And he did not stop there. He is still continuing in that pathway. For him to have been sworn in, the constitution of Nigeria is set aside. When people talk about constitution, I always wonder, do we still really have a constitution? Because for Tinubu to have been allowed to remain in Aso Rock, it means that the constitution has been shredded to pieces. And indeed, it is true. Considering what is happening across the country, you will see that it doesn't have any regards for the rule of law. No regards for the rule of law. See what he did in Rivers State. Single-handedly removed a duly elected democratic governor and appointed a sole administrator. Everybody is quiet. On top of that, the sole administrator conducted an election to elect local government of chairmen and councillors. Is that one not too much to bear? When exactly will enough be enough in Nigeria? When exactly will enough be enough in Nigeria? So let's come back to what caused it is corruption, and Nigerian politicians are extremely corrupt. To say that Nigerian politicians are extremely corrupt is even another statement. So they are now seeing what is happening in Nepal. They are now running kitty kata. They don't want it to happen in Nigeria. You see, because of that, the 5% telecom tax has been revoked because they are not scared. That's a proof for you to know that they are scared. What I want to say to everybody is that this current mess that we are contributing to it. You see, they are planning not to have Peter Obi on the ballot come 2027 because he knows he stole 2023 from Peter Obi. It was not very, very easy for him to steal 2023. Now, using that same principle again will be difficult. That is why he's making every effort to frustrate the proper formation of structure by Peter Obi. This is where we need to be very, very vocal. We are romancing APC too much. Just like Dati Baba is saying, nobody should tell the opposition in Nigeria to play opposition with decorum or respect. The establishment has no decorum or respect in their dictionary. And this is the truth. Tinubu has decorum. When people begin to talk about decorum when they stole power, I know criminals talk about decorum when they stole power in the first place. It's so annoying. If we continue in this manner, what happened in 2023 will repeat itself. It is so important that the opposition begins to speak vehemently and coming out even for protest, because APC and Tinubu will disorganize the opposition that they will not even be structured if they continue in this trajectory. That is why I'm wondering, and I keep saying it, that I've not seen any serious opposition here. Person who stole power is telling him to be decorum so that he can enjoy what he stole. No, that's not how you do it. You go after the person, collect it from the person, let him vomit it, massage the ego of the people who stole power by being decorum. No. The chairman of INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, has destroyed our democracy. There is a post I saw on Parallel Fact where he is talking about early campaign is destroying Nigeria democracy. Mahmoud Yakubu, you are the one destroying Nigeria democracy. You have destroyed Nigeria democracy beyond reasonable repair by simply turning off that server in February 25, 2023. You have destroyed Nigeria. You have destroyed Nigeria democracy. Nobody has done more damage to Nigeria democracy than you. If you didn't turn off that server, there will not be campaign by this time, because APC would not have won. And honorable people would have been elected. Obi wouldn't have started campaign by this time. He would have been showing workings. So INEC Mahmoud Yakubu, I still wonder why thunder has not strike you. But it's for you to repent. Otherwise, be doing. Pain you have caused this nation is untold. You have caused a lot of pain to this nation, and you need to be told. You, Mahmoud Yakubu, you have done a lot of damage to this country, and you are still there, and we are still looking at INEC. Nobody is talking about electoral reform. I don't know the formula that Peter Obi wants to use to win 2027 election. He's not talking about electoral reform. INEC, the chairman of INEC that turn off server and declare fraudulent result for Tinubu to come to power, he's still there. Nobody is talking about all that. How do you think, sir, we're going to win 2027? I don't just